Welcome to a very special live episode of Nerds from Nowhere. I am your nerd host, Joe.
And I am a crazy homeless man that wandered into some random dude's house and I'm using his computer. But my name is Devin, and I am your nerd host for today.
What a great coincidence that you, as a hobo, would have the exact same name as our regular nerd host.
That is quite a coincidence.
You're better looking than our normal nerd host, just a little.
I am not sure if I'm complimented or insulted.
I say that with the utmost amount of love.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Random Nerd Host Hobo is a really sweet band name.
Yes, it is.
So, Devin, why don't you tell the viewers that and our listeners what we're doing here today?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, and I often am mistaken, so I could be wrong, we are taking part in a special stream with the group Thread Raiders to help the charity organization Extra Life raise money for children's hospitals.
That's great. We're actually doing this 100% to fight the rumors that Devin hates all children.
Yeah, that is a vicious rumor. It's only like 99% of children that I
hate.
No, sorry, I like 99% of children.
Okay.
Sorry, I said that wrong. It's only 1% of children that I hate.
Oh, okay. And none of them that are in the hospital.
Yeah, none of them are in hospitals. I'm all for helping children in hospital. It's just the neighbor kid that I hate. He's a jerk.
Okay. We all know a kid like that, I'm sure. Anyway, if you're watching or listening and you want to donate to a good cause, you can go to www.extralife.org. Let's get things started here, Devin. Our first topic for the show today, we want to talk about Netflix Marvel TV shows.
Yes.
Have you seen the new season of Daredevil, season 3?
Daredevil. I've never heard of this. Yeah, no, I've seen it. I just finished it last night, actually.
Oh, just barely, huh?
Yeah, just barely.
What'd you think of it?
I loved it. I loved it so much. I totally did not binge it all week.
That's how I watch all of those shows. I go to work, I come home, and my wife and I watch our Netflix Marvel show every day until it's done.
Yeah, I haven't done anything for the last I don't know how many days other than watch Daredevil.
And we've had head cold going around the house, so we've watched an extra large amount of Netflix the last couple weeks.
Yeah, but yeah, it was super good. I am not even sure what I'm trying to say here, but it was excellent. The villains and the good guys all played really well off of each other. They were all, I don't necessarily want to say polar opposites of each other, but they were nice mirrors of each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they were. And Netflix has a way of, at least with the Marvel shows, having you care about the villains while also hating them.
Right. Yeah, they're flawed in a terrible way, and that's the reason that they work really well, because the heroes are flawed too. They're not just hey, Daredevil is the greatest guy in the universe and you should love him. He's broken and messed up. And so he's a really great mirror image of the villain who is broken and messed up. But the villain, instead of being a good guy and trying to do the right thing, goes the other way and decides to hurt people and do terrible things instead of trying to do what's right and be a good person,
Yeah.
and both end up hurting people, and bad things happen. But I don't know. So yeah, you do. You sympathize and you feel bad for them, but you have to hate and feel bad for the villains.
Yeah. Yeah, you really do, and you're glad when they're defeated. But the whole time, there's a small part of me that's like, if he did win, I guess it wouldn't be the worst thing. I kind of like him,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they all have qualities that regular people, or maybe I'm just evil, but they all have qualities that regular people, I think, can relate to. So you can see a part of yourself in all of these characters. Probably not the arranging the murder of dozens or hundreds of people.
Well, I don't know. I've arranged the murder of dozens and hundreds of no. Hopefully, you've never arranged the murder of hundreds of people.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, I would never go that far. Hundreds, that's a lot. Like
yeah,
maybe a couple dozen tops.
yeah,
The normal amount of arranged murder.
right.
I thought we could compare. There's a few shows that have just 2 seasons. I thought we could kind of compare, how these shows have been evolving. What did you think of Jessica Jones season 1 versus Jessica Jones season 2?
I think the first season of Jessica Jones, and for kind of similar reasons that we were just talking about with Daredevil, but the first season was amazing. Like, I absolutely loved it. The second season, it was good. Don't get me wrong, Jessica Jones season 2 was good, but it's difficult to live up to that first season.
Yeah, I agree. Um, they almost couldn't meet that bar again. I don't think that they're in such a situation where the second season just wouldn't be as good, no matter what. Even if the second season was almost exactly the same as the first season, it would have been like, wow, there's no hope in the world. I can't handle this.
Right.
So they needed to go somewhere with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, they made interesting choices with trying not to give any spoilers, but who the villain was in the second season, and it did make for an interesting show. But yeah, you can't go anywhere after. You can't go up from that first season
Yeah.
because David Tennant.
Yeah. Well, and his character, Kilgrave, right?
Yeah.
What can you do? Like, you can't bring him back from the dead because that's just lame. So what do you do, right? You have to try and find somebody, and that speaking of villains that I felt bad for, his character is like, if from a very young age, if everybody had to do exactly what you said all the time, how would you turn out any differently?
I would just be super studly because I'm cool like that. No, I think you're right. You'd have to just be messed up.
Yeah, I felt so bad for him. Like, the only thing that you could do is put him down. I think in the show she did the right thing. Spoiler for season 1, I guess. It's been long enough. But that's the only way that could have ended was taking him down, because there's just no way for him to be a normal happy person. And he left a trail of bodies in his wake.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, and that by the way is my favorite of the Marvel Netflix shows by far.
Jessica Jones, or just like Jessica Jones season 1?
Jessica Jones season 1,
Yeah.
but Jessica Jones in general. I love it.
It's a good show. I have a hard time picking between that and Daredevil. They've done such a good job with Daredevil.
That is true. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say by far, but
we'll
it is
see
my favorite.
what they do with the Jessica Jones season 3. Maybe it'll swing things back. But having just watched season 3 of Daredevil, it's kind of my favorite right now, especially since season 3 was I think on par with Daredevil season 1. I think a lot better than season 2.
That is true. Yeah, I think season 2 was on par with season 1 when it comes to Daredevil. So I love that. But I love Jessica Jones season 1. So season 1 of Jessica Jones is my favorite. Mm-hmm. And then Daredevil seasons. I don't know what I'm saying.
For me,
Luke
Cage was a little bit different. I thought, the first half of season 1 super engaging, really good, really intense, and the second half was just real dumb, just not very much fun to watch. I thought Diamondback's super suit was really not good. You could see it became blatantly obvious that they had a lower budget when it came to his super suit. It was like a leather jacket and like a cardboard helmet.
Yeah. I don't even know what to add to that. That's a...
It's not good. And I thought season 2 was super engaging, although maybe too dark at times. I won't give any spoilers, but at the very end of it, I was left feeling kind of empty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Season 2 was a bit dark.
Yeah. So again, we'll see where they go with season 3. I enjoyed season 2 more than season 1 because it was consistent for me. Like I was consistently engaged across the entire season.
There is no season 3.
I mean, wait, Luke Cage also got canceled?
Luke Cage got canceled.
Oh, now I feel even emptier inside.
Right?
I knew that Iron Fist got canceled, but I didn't know Luke Cage got canceled.
Yeah, Iron Fist and Luke Cage both got... They're gone. No more.
My wife is sitting in the corner. She says it's my fault for waiting so long to watch it. I just
it is your fault.
Luke Cage season 2, and I haven't even seen Iron Fist season 2. It is my fault. I'm sorry, internet.
I blame you. Wait, possibly Jessica Jones? Somebody just said that possibly Jessica Jones. I guess that would be okay, actually. As much as I love that character, as long as they keep doing Daredevil.
Daredevil needs to stay. People in the chat are pointing out, Disney is getting its own streaming service. We'll talk about that a little bit more later, but these Netflix shows are very on the adult end of the spectrum, and I think that it's been kind of difficult for Netflix and Disney to agree on what the content of those shows should be.
Right.
What Marvel or DC hero would you like to see have a Netflix style TV show?
When we're talking about like Netflix shows, because I was kind of thinking about this, and we're going kind of obscure here, but I would really like to see Disney pull a Guardians of the Galaxy type scenario where they take an obscure character, because that's what they did with Guardians of the Galaxy. Nobody knew who they were. I would love to see Moon Knight have a TV show, because that character would just be crazy fun to see. If you guys don't know who Moon Knight is, he's kind of, well, Joe, you always say Magic Batman.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is accurate, but he's also schizophrenic.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, it depends on which iteration of him, but basically, yeah, he hears the voice of an Egyptian goddess in his head. They never say if it's actually a real thing or not.
I know that I've only read a couple of the comics, but the one I read, like he was having like a conversation the entire time with like Captain America and Spider-Man and Thor. Like they were helping him on his mission, and at the end it turns out they weren't there. He was just
awesome.
Having conversations with people that weren't there, which I think would be really fun TV show. Like completely mentally imbalanced, but not necessarily in a bad way, just
like he still does good things despite his mental illness, which is I think is a great message for anybody.
Yeah.
You could do such amazing things with a character like that. I love that he doesn't just have, he's not just like Bruce Wayne and Batman. He has his he is a rich guy. So he has his rich guy persona. He has his superhero persona as Moon Knight, and then he has a third persona where he's just a cab driver.
Oh, really? I did not know that one.
Yeah, so he'll just go, and that's how he kind of keeps track of what's going on the streets. I don't know how he disguises himself, really, so people don't recognize. Because if Bruce Wayne started driving cabs, you'd be like, "Aren't you Bruce Wayne?"
Good point. Maybe he's not that rich.
Yeah, he's not Bruce Wayne rich.
Yeah. Like if half the rich guys in this world drove a cab, I wouldn't even notice because, like, unless we're like Elon Musk or something, I'd be like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah, yeah.
Or Bill Gates.
That's such a good pick.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and so he's obscure enough that you could do different things with the character, and you wouldn't have a ton of outrage. Like that's not what Moon Knight would do.
Yeah, nobody would know. Everybody would be like, "Who is Moon Knight?"
Yeah, people would be like falling in love with the character. A lot of people would be falling in love with the character for the first time.
Right. Kind of like Jessica Jones. Like nobody knew who she was, and people loved her.
I didn't know her from before.
Yeah, and like Luke Cage and some of these others. You pick a random character.
Yeah, that's nice. It's nice to have that extra leeway when you're wanting to tell a story. Let's see what's next on our agenda here. Should we do our current addictions?
Wait, who was your pick?
Oh, for a hero to have their own show? I should have thought about that. I wrote the outline for this, and
you didn't even come up with one. You're just like, I want to know what Devin thinks.
Yeah. Well, honestly, that Moon Knight is one of my favorite characters as far as non-mainstream goes. So I would probably be on the same boat with you.
You're just gonna steal my pick. That's it.
I'm supporting your pick.
Okay.
This is where we start a campaign. Disney, Netflix, make a Moon Knight show, and it's gonna be better than the shows you just canceled.
I'm curious. We didn't even talk about Iron Fist, but did you watch the second season of Iron Fist?
I still haven't, although I want to. I've heard good things about it. What do you think? Iron Fist season 2 versus season 1.
Well, you can't really do worse than season 1. Let's be honest. It was good. Like it was nowhere near as good as Daredevil, but season 2 was a lot better. Like I actually found myself kind of enjoying it.
Cool.
So if you hated the first season of Iron Fist, but you like superheroes, give it a watch. Like you're not going to come away and being like, holy crap, this is the best show ever. But it wasn't like the first season of Iron Fist where you're like, this show is terrible.
Yeah, Iron Fist season 1 was hard for me to watch.
Yeah.
A lot of really fun jokes, we'll leave it at that. But other than that.
But and I'm a little sad that they canceled it. I was curious where the characters were going to go and everything, but
yeah.
And who knows? Maybe they probably won't, but maybe they'll make a Heroes for Hire show or something with Luke Cage and Iron Fist. That'd be kind of fun.
I I would love to see a
I
show that better bridges the gap between the MCU and the Netflix shows because they technically exist in the same universe, and the Netflix shows will sometimes reference,
mention things.
yeah, some big things that happened, but they're so far removed from each other. I would love to see something that kind of bridged the gap between the two.
Yeah, yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun.
Give Hawkeye his own TV show.
Ooh, a Hawkeye TV show.
Another obscure character that I've always loved, but he's been in the movies, so I can't complain too much.
Yeah, he is a great character.
Okay, so we're gonna do our current addictions now. We're gonna have a couple of these segments, so this is going to be our current addictions for TV shows.
Dun, dun, dun. Um,
What is your current addiction, Devin?
well, it's kind of cheating because we've been talking about it a bit, but I've been addicted to Daredevil season 3.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, I just finished watching it last night. So
Okay. Well, that's an easy one.
yeah,
Daredevil, season 3. My current addiction is The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I didn't think that I would be into it at all because my wife has been watching Riverdale, and I do not like it at all. I see why people would like it because it's teen drama and whatnot, and a lot of really ridiculous things happen. But the Riverdale was not for me. But I loved The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It's so freaking dark.
really.
Yeah, I don't want to give away too much, but they go into this pretty quickly at the beginning. She's just like straight up her aunts belong to a church that worships Satan.
Well,
Right?
that's surprising.
Yeah, so a little bit different than Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I would not have expected that.
But still really good. I think you have to take a step back and realize they're just telling stories because it's for a Christian audience it's super super sacrilegious. It would be really hard to watch for somebody that was really very staunch in their religious beliefs, unless they could take a step back and say, okay, they're just telling a story, they're not actually saying that you should worship Satan.
Should I worship Satan?
I mean, it's up to you. We live in America, so you can do whatever you want.
I just thought I'd ask. Okay.
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want. That's good to know.
Yeah, we live in America. That's the great thing. In most places too, I think. At least most places that would be watching the stream right now.
Valid point.
You pretty much have the freedom to worship whoever you wish. Just don't hurt other people while you're doing it.
That's a very good point. You hear that? Don't hurt other people.
Should we take a quick sponsor break?
Yeah, we should sponsor things.
All right. Today's episode is brought to you in part by Low Carb Diets, hopefully keeping both of our nerd hosts from death or amputation since 2018.
It's a very long time.
Also, the episode is brought to you by a fundraiser for Extra Life, supporting Children's Miracle Network.
Woohoo!
You can
Go Extra Life.
Go to www.extra-life.org to make a donation and benefit the children's.
It's the children's.
So, Devin, we've been talking about how this is for, or in conjunction with, the Thread Raiders. We've talked about them a little bit on the show, but why don't you tell our listening audience, both on the stream and who are listening to this later, who the Thread Raiders are and kind of what they stand for?
They're people.
Great. And they
I,
they stand when they don't want to sit down anymore.
yeah. So I have a great way with words.
Poetic.
No. I wish we had one of the great leaders of the Thread Raiders here because they always put it a lot better than me. But it's a community of people with, how do they say that? Like-minded individuals who just want to spread goodness and positivity throughout the community. So if you're interested in doing something like that, you like gaming and stuff, because they do a lot of that, but not necessarily. If you just like to spread positivity, check out the Thread Raiders. They have a website, threadraiders.com. So, and they are on pretty much every type of social media out there: Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, all the other ones that I forget about.
The thing that I love so much about the Thread Raiders is they're really good at that positivity. Like, they don't just say that's what they want to do. They actually do it. You talk to any one of them for just a few minutes, and you will feel better about yourself and life in general.
It's true.
I love them, and it's not, there a lot of the people in Thread Raiders kind of met through the TTRPG scene. But we have people who have published poetry. We have streamers. We have people who are running podcasts like us. Really, anything that you have that you're trying to put out a positive message with, Thread Raiders will get behind, and they'll make you feel like what you're trying to do is worthwhile.
That is accurate.
So I wanted to take a second to thank Thread Raiders for letting us be involved in this fundraiser and for just being our friends. We love you guys.
We do. We really do. So, yeah, Thread Raiders are great. Check them out. Check out everything they do. They stream a lot of stuff on Twitch and they even have a podcast, which is excellent. Not quite as excellent as ours.
Except for when you were on it.
Oh yeah. The episode that we were on was most excellent.
No, their production value is really good. Like they spend a lot of time making it a really well put together show. So they're better than us, but
they are.
And that's
but we don't want to say that out loud because this is our podcast, so we have to say that we're better than them.
They're better than us, but, everyone has their own things, so hopefully there are people that love us, too. You can love more than one thing.
Yeah. Yeah, love us as well. Love our poor production value. That's what makes us great.
Yeah. It's like a poorly cooked, home-cooked meal. It's still home cooking, even if it's made with love, even if they didn't do a very good job. You eat it with a smile, right?
Yeah. It might be a little bit burnt and there's like hair in it. It's it was made with love.
But it was made with love, and you can appreciate that, right?
Yeah.
I thought for our next topic, we mentioned it a little bit earlier, I thought we'd talk about all of these streaming services that are popping up.
I love those because I love spending money.
Yeah. Disney's getting their own, DC has their own, CBS has their own.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, I don't have a ton of detail on Disney's yet. I don't think they've launched it yet.
I don't think so.
A lot of these, they have one or two shows that I want to watch. I don't want to pay however much money a month so I can watch one show. Like Star Trek Discovery, I really want to watch that show.
I'm curious about it.
I think it looks like it would be pretty good. Plus, I love Star Trek. I've watched pretty much all the others, so I'd love to check that out. But I don't want to have a separate streaming service. Why can't we all just get along?
Yeah, that's why I pay for Netflix and Amazon, and I used to pay for Hulu but then I ran out of money, so I stopped paying for that one. Um,
Yeah, I think a lot of people have those are the top three, right?
mhm.
We've got Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon. And honestly, I don't spend a ton of time in the Amazon one, but I have Amazon Prime, so I'll go back there and I'll check out some of their original content. They do a pretty good job. I thought Jack
Yeah,
Ryan was pretty good. But
yeah,
man,
yeah. They have a couple.
I don't know how I feel about everybody having their own thing. Is it just is the future going to be, you pay $15 per channel, more or less, and you just get to stream whatever you want? I don't
That
know.
seems to be what everyone wants, and I don't know if it's going to work because, yeah,
I would really what I would really love to see is more content spread amongst those three, so I don't have to pay a bunch of more money. And maybe that's not the best way for these companies to make money, and that's what they're in the game for. But man, I would love to check out Titans by DC. I would love to see Star Trek Discovery, and some of these shows that Disney's going to have on their streaming service look like they might be really good.
I haven't checked out the Disney one yet, but I would believe that. But do you really want to see Titans on the DC one? Come on,
I
that
want to
trailer looked
see
awful.
the trailer looked awful, and the pictures on set also looked awful. But I want to see what they did for
Okay,
myself,
okay.
right? I don't want to. I don't want to be. I don't want to just be like, yeah, that looks terrible. I'm not going to check it out. But also, I don't want to spend all the money for the streaming service. So if they had a few more options for me, I might do it.
I'll be honest. The one that makes me want to get the DC one is the Young Justice season 3.
I forgot about that. I do. I
That
do love. I loved the first two seasons so much.
Yeah, that's the only reason I would get the DC one. Like, I would probably watch the Titans out of curiosity, but the reason I would get the DC one is for Young Justice.
Hmm.
Just saying.
And I would say I read an article recently that said all of these new streaming services, they're accomplishing the opposite because now no one's making money because a lot of people are just stealing the shows, downloading them illegally and whatnot. Which, as a younger man with less money, it was certainly something that I might have done once or twice. But since becoming a content creator, I've tried my best to put out the right kind of karma and not steal if I can avoid it.
Well, and I think that is an interesting point because I think that was very common several years ago, and maybe it's continued to be very common, but I feel like it got less because it became easier to stream and to watch things and cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And now everybody's going with this plan of, hey, you have to get a subscription through our one thing just to get these two shows that you want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I can see that. Not that I'm justifying anybody pirating stuff illegally, but yeah,
I understand why it happens.
yeah,
People can't afford to pay for 9 different streaming services. I understand why it happens. I don't think that it should, but I get why it does.
yeah, I can see it coming back on the rise again. So yeah, just put all your stuff back on Netflix.
Yeah, I hate to say it.
Do that, Disney.
That's who I think is winning right now. I think a bunch of their original content is really good. Not all of it, but a bunch of their original content is really good. I love their menu system more than the alternatives. I think in my opinion they're winning right now, and I would love to see people make content and just put it on Netflix. If I hate to make the suggestion, but if I had to pay $20 a month for like a premium Netflix subscription where I got a bunch of extra content, I'd rather do that than another $15 for a separate system.
Yeah, well, and it's not like they have a monopoly because there is like Amazon Prime and there is Hulu,
Yeah.
and I think they have decent content. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of paying money for CBS All Access so that I can watch the two shows on there that I might want to watch.
Yeah. Do you know? So I'm pretty sure that the Captain Picard show is happening now, but I don't know through which. I don't know if it's going to be on TV or if it's going to be through their streaming service. But that's something I love Captain Picard with all my heart and Patrick Stewart at the same time, and I want to watch that show, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I hope it's not. I hope it's on TV or somewhere where I can watch it where I already have access instead of getting a separate service.
Yeah, I don't know. Does our audience know? Does anyone know about the Captain Picard show? Bueller?
We're a little behind.
Bueller?
I mean, they're a little behind.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, Dak doesn't know, so no one knows. Oh, somebody does. In tandem with Amazon and CBS. Okay.
really?
Well, good. Oh,
Well,
Amazon's paying for it. Oh, thank you, Canthos.
yeah. Canthos, you're the man.
See, that's what we need. Have it available on Amazon. Have it available on your other thing. That's fine.
Yeah.
Give me a couple of different ways to watch it. I love that.
Choices. I'm okay with choices.
Let's see where we're at here. Let's go on to our future excitement movies category. Devin, do you have a movie that you're looking forward to or that you're excited to see?
Um, no. uh, shoot, I had one, and I'm not sure if I remember. I'm just gonna say Aquaman because I'm pretty excited for that. I think it looks good. I'm nervously excited for that, actually. Let's say that. DC has not had the best track record for movies, but I'm hopeful.
Can I say that they cast that the only way they could to make Aquaman cool?
Come on, Aquaman is coolish.
I guess. Not for me. I was always like, okay, he can talk to fish and stuff. That I guess that's cool. But it was hard to relate to the character, right?
He's from two different worlds. He's torn between land and sea.
Surf and turf. Oh man, that would have been such a good name for him.
I think he's better than people give him credit for. But
yeah,
he's not the best that DC has.
My problem, I guess, was the most exposure to him I had was like Super Friends, and that show was just super cheesy all the way around.
Yeah, he was awful in that.
Yeah.
I do like Aquaman, and I think my biggest issue with him is a lot of times he kind of comes off like Cyclops did in the X-Men. Like he's kind of a jerk. Mm-hmm. He's like, hey, I'm king of Atlantis. Do what I say, punks. But I think he's got some cool powers. He doesn't just talk to fish.
That's true. He can swim.
Exactly. He can swim.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah, no, he's good. And Jason Momoa, like I could watch him do anything. Like I think he's super cool. He's like that old thing like women want to be with him, men want to be him, and vice versa. Yeah, I don't judge.
yeah, I think I know a lot of women that want to be like him.
Hmm.
I don't know
Aquaman.
if Aquaman was the only fun thing about Justice League. There was. Sorry, I was reading a comment from
Oh,
one of our people. No, you might be right. He might have been the only fun thing about Justice League.
I enjoyed some of the moments with the Flash. I thought
The
they had
Flash was
some
pretty good.
some good stuff. And that whole well, what's your superpower, Bruce Wayne? And he's like, I'm rich.
That was pretty good.
I enjoyed that too.
Um, I think my favorite scene in Justice League was when the Flash tries to attack Superman. Like that just made me all happy inside. But probably just because I'm a Superman fan. But just that realization that the Flash had that Superman is actually about as fast as he is, like the way they filmed it too. Because the Flash is just like, I'm gonna run around him, and Superman looks at him, and he's like, "Wait a minute!" And then Superman like, starts moving towards him, and he's like, "Oh crap! Like, what do I do? What do I do now?"
Yeah.
But that movie was bad.
It was, in my opinion, and I know it may be unpopular. I think it was fine. I don't think it was great. I wouldn't say that it was a bad movie.
It was
I
fine.
thought it was a fine movie. It was. You could go to the movies, you could eat some popcorn, and you could watch a movie with a bunch of superheroes, and it was fine. Like I didn't leave being like, "Wow, what a waste of time," and I didn't leave being like, "Wow, that blew me away. That was really great." I was just like, "Cool, I watched a superhero movie, and I feel sick because I ate too much popcorn."
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
And I agree with when we had Jonathan London on here. It was a huge course correction. That's all they tried to do was fix where the Justice League or those movies had tried to go. And they did pretty well with that. Somebody in Marvel, or not Marvel, at DC, at Warner Brothers had been like, hey, we were trying to make every one of our heroes Batman. That's a bad plan.
Right. Well, and another maybe unpopular opinion time. People are just going to hate me by the end of this. But I'm lamenting the loss of a Ben Affleck directed Batman movie. I think that would have been super good. I think he's a tremendous director.
Yeah, that would have been good.
When we had Ronnie Gene Blevins on the show, I told him that my favorite Batman was Ben Affleck, and he was like,
No.
I didn't say his were the best Batman movies. I just like him as Batman.
He did a great job. Somebody in the comments said that Superman is a boring character. I have to disagree because I love Superman, but his movies have been bad, and I think it's a fundamental misunderstanding of who the character is. I think you can make a very interesting story with Superman.
Well,
he is overpowered, but that's part of what makes him an interesting character.
Right. The fact that he chooses it's like that Kilgrave argument, right? Like, how would he not turn out to be evil when he's basically he could have anything he wants at any time? That's what makes Superman who he is he could just murder every criminal on the planet and take over power or do whatever he wants. But he doesn't do that because of his sense of morality, his sense of right and wrong, and he chooses, instead of taking over the world, to just be its protector.
Yeah, and I think that's where it gets interesting. And I think that's where they went really wrong with the movies, because they had Jonathan Kent die in such a weird way and Jonathan Kent being like, hey, you should let people die to protect your secret, which doesn't raise Clark Kent the right way, because Jonathan Kent almost has to be the superhero because he raised Clark Kent in such a way to make him Superman, and that just completely flaws the character in such a way that doesn't make any sense.
Well, and it was, Superman would have been so fast he could have saved his dad, and everyone would have been like, that was really weird how you were over there and now you're over here.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't like that either. I think he needs to die of a heart attack because it shows, it's a pain that Superman carries around with him, but it wasn't his dad choosing to leave, right?
Right.
And so I think it works better for the character, but I'm with you there.
Yeah. Anyway, so, and you can disagree with me. You can hate Superman. That's fine. But I think he's an excellent character. But I have read Superman comics that are terrible because all they're about is Superman punching things. And that is really boring.
And that's the thing with a character like Superman who's overpowered, it has to be driven by the characters and not by his superpowers, right? He's this incredible guy with these powers, but that comes secondary to the characters, to the people who he loves, to the choices that he makes, to the people that he's trying to protect. That it has to be about that, or it's just not good.
Yeah. When it's just about, hey, Superman is incredibly strong and he can shoot laser beams out of his eyes, that's not an interesting story.
Yeah, I think that's what made All-Star Superman so good.
Yeah, that was a great story. There's a lot of great stories with Superman.
Yeah,
but yeah. So the comment that the movies are not good, I agree with you. They have not made a good Superman movie. Mostly because they keep getting directors that love Batman to try to make Superman movies. It doesn't work well.
Yeah. So yeah, that was so Devin's future excitement is Aquaman. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, we might have gotten a little off track.
That's okay. We still have half an hour we need to fill with terrific content like that.
Terrific content. Terrific content.
Homemade, slightly burnt toast content.
What about you? What's your future excitement, Joe?
Fantastic Beasts 2 comes out this month.
Ooh.
I liked the first one more than all of the Harry Potter movies, and I really love the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think that they were a lot of fun. Obviously, the books are a little bit better.
Wait, those are based off of books?
It's okay. I'll help you learn how to read, and then we'll move on to the reading the books thing.
Oh, okay. Awesome. I'm excited to learn how to read, man.
It's gonna be.
It is going to be good.
Or you could go to Audible. Get the audiobook.
I could do that. But then I'd have to use my imagination. That sounds difficult.
Imagination. It's like TV for your brain. Warning, it may diminish with age.
Yes. Thank you.
But yeah, Fantastic Beasts 2, Johnny Depp is going to be in it for more than 2 seconds. I'm excited. Jude Law, such a dreamboat. He's going to be in the movie as well.
All right. Yeah, you've got me pretty excited now.
Yeah.
Just because of Jude Law.
Yeah, Jude Law is fantastic. His attractiveness transcends all. He's just a good-looking guy.
Yeah. I have a man crush on him. That's not saying a lot.
But somewhere on a very long list is Jude Law's name.
Have we had an episode where I haven't mentioned that I have a man crush on somebody?
Maybe one.
Maybe one. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm excited. My wife loves that whole Harry Potter universe, and I'm a big fan as well. So I'm really excited for Fantastic Beasts 2. Comes out this month sometime. Check the Google. You might even be able to buy tickets now. I'm not sure.
I probably can't.
Ooh.
My movie theater doesn't do that.
That's true.
So
That's true. You can get them earlier in the day if they're there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, probably.
Let's take another sponsor break. Who's one of our other sponsors, Devin?
Um, that is a good question. Let me remember. Uh, so this episode is brought to you by happiness. Happiness. It's the feeling you get when you binge or sorry, I'm going to start this over because I know what I'm doing. And this is a very professional podcast.
Professional. Yep.
Yeah.
Remember, slightly burnt toast. It's fine.
Yeah. Ever so slightly. This episode is brought to you by happiness. Happiness. Is it that feeling you get when you binge your favorite TV show? Sure. Or buy a new game? Well, that would depend on the game. But a better version of happiness is when you help other people. And that brings us to sponsor number 2. Should I cover that as well?
Yes, you
Why not?
should.
All right. So, sponsor number 2 is this fundraiser, which we are doing to help Extra Life, which is the fundraiser to help children's hospitals in the Miracle Network. So you can head over to extra-life.org, right?
Extra-life.org.
Extra-life.org. My apologies.
If you're watching this live, they post a link periodically in the chat, and if you are listening to this, there will be a link in the show notes.
Yeah, we will do that. So check that out. Donate, help children, which, contrary to popular belief, I don't hate.
We can't stress enough how much Devin does not hate most children.
So anyway, that is our sponsor.
Thank you for doing that, Devin.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Gotta pay the bills.
Happiness pays a lot.
Yeah, it's a good currency. I thought, since we actually have an audience this time, I thought we might include the audience for a minute. I'd like to hear what nerdy stuff you guys have on your Christmas wish list. And while we wait for the stream to catch up with the live, Devin, why don't you tell us what you want, your nerdy stuff that you want for Christmas?
What nerdy stuff do I want for Christmas?
What are you going to ask Nerd Santa for this year?
Nerd Santa. Kittens? No, that's not really nerdy.
I mean, I guess if you're passionate about kittens, it could be.
That's true. Probably anything Doctor Who related or Superman related, because I have an obsession with those things.
Dakeen Gaming says, I'm all about the video games and D&D books on my list. Yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah.
I actually have quite a few of those D&D books on my list as well. Fairy Renee? I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. She says, or he, I still want a Nintendo Classic. I do too.
Yeah, who doesn't want that?
Although I ended up building an emulator system in a little tiny on Raspberry Pi in a little tiny Nintendo case when they sold out the first year and I couldn't buy one. I was all salty. So I got all of the games that I already own.
That's nice.
No piracy. And I put them on my on that little emulator system so I could enjoy those classic games as well, because my regular NES is long gone.
Let's see. Halfling Trouble says a wormwood tray. Ooh, I like that.
They give those away on Critical Role all the time, right?
Yeah, I want one of those for the once every year that I play Dungeons and Dragons.
The Staggering Giant says, I'm looking for a regular in real life tabletop game. Not too much to ask, is it?
No.
Yeah, no, definitely not too much to ask. I think you've been a good boy. I would expect Nerd Santa to be leaving that under your Christmas tree
Yeah.
after he cleaned off his really thick-rimmed glasses.
How do you know that he's been a good boy, Joe? I just want to know this.
Listen,
Or
just because
she.
I'm one of Nerd Santa's helpers, okay,
Oh,
doesn't mean I'm going to give you inside information.
that's all right. Well, now I'm just frightened actually because you know that I have not been a good boy. So I am not getting anything for Christmas.
Hey,
Dang it.
you hate less children now than you used to allegedly. So, I'd say that gives you a few brownie points.
I never hated any children. I just say that I do. That's is that worse? Is that better? I don't even know. Oh,
Very reen. I get it now. Sorry, I'm catching up with the chat as well. Cool. Well, yeah, that was fun. I hopefully moving forward we'll be able to have some a little bit more interaction with our chat. I enjoy listening to these guys.
yeah, it's great to have some people interact with us.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go to our last current addiction.
Wait. Did you say what you want for Christmas, Joe?
Oh, I definitely want a Nintendo Switch Diablo version. Um, I
Really?
it's funny to me. At first, I was like, the Nintendo Switch is such a ripoff because they're making like all of the games I want to play are just old games like Skyrim. I've purchased Skyrim 3 different times now, and now it's on the Switch, and I'm like, whatever. And then they announced that Diablo was going to be on there, and I was like, I want to Switch. That'll also be the third time that I buy that game. But the ability to just take that anywhere with me is super appealing. I want to Switch so bad, and you've probably heard me talk about this. We have a baby on the way, um, and I think it'd be really nice when I'm up with the baby, if I can get him back to sleep, I can hold him, and I can play a game right there in my hands. So I would love a Nintendo Switch, and I would love to be able to play Diablo whenever and wherever I want.
All right.
And I've changed my mind on bringing back old games. If it's a good game and it's not yet on the Switch, put it on the Switch. I don't care how old it is. I would like to be able to play it wherever I am.
I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely want a Nintendo Switch. So if you guys, I think only naughty boys approach Nerd Santa when they have a direct connection. So if somebody else could mention it for me, I would appreciate that.
I personally don't know Nerd Santa, but I'll send him a letter.
Yeah, send him a letter or an email. Come on, Nerd Santa
Oh yeah,
doesn't do snail mail.
that's true. It's Nerd Santa. My bad. My bad. Maybe I'll just hit him up on Twitter.
At Nerd Santa, we need to go register that. It's
Might
not
already
already a
exist.
thing. Yeah, it's not already a thing. I'd like to move on to our last current addiction segment, video games, and I only listed one on the outline because I think we have the same one.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm currently addicted to that game.
When I play, I can't ever bring myself to just do heinous things all the time. And so I'm always trying to be the good guy, but my nephew lives with me right now, and I'll watch him play, and he has no sense of morality when it comes to video games. So I get to enjoy both. I get to see the game played with the white hat, the cowboy who's trying to do what's right, but he's in a bad situation, and I get to see him just do the worst, most heinous things on the planet all the time, and I get to see the best of both worlds. But I don't have to feel guilty because I didn't do it.
I have a similar situation, except for mine is it's both me and one of them is accidental. Because I keep doing terrible, terrible things in that game accidentally. Like, so the other day I was playing it, and some dude rode past me on a horse, and he had like kidnapped somebody. Like they were on the back screaming, and I was like, I will go help them. So I went, and I rode, and I stopped the guy, but I had to kill him, like, to rescue the lady. Mm-hmm. So I rescue the lady, and then, like, maybe I'm just evil, but I was like, hey, there's a dead dude here. I need to take his money. Because it's free money.
I don't feel bad taking a freaking, like, kidnapping rapist's money after I kill him. I think that's fine.
Yeah. So I'm doing that, and while I'm doing that, somebody rides up, and they're like, what are you doing? And they start attacking me. So I kill them, and then, like, 5 more people show up.
And, like, you're just crying, like, I don't want to do this. You keep making me kill you.
Yeah, so, like, I'm just, like, sitting there murdering people, and I'm like, I was trying to help a lady. Like, stop showing up and trying to kill me for it. And then, not, like, 10 minutes later, I go back into town, and I'm sitting there, and some dude tries to pick a fight with me in a bar, and it's probably just because I was tired, but I completely forgot how to do, like, the melee combat. And I pulled out my shotgun and shot him in the face. I was like, no, that's not what I was trying to do.
I had one of those moments, too, at the beginning of the game when I was still learning the controls. I was like, those people are in a fist fight. I should stop it. And I'm just like, boom, and just smoke the guy. No, I didn't mean... Oh, well,
I've done this more than once. I'm like, I'm going to do that. Oh, no, I just pulled out my gun and shot somebody. Well, so much for being a good guy. Run away.
The game is so full of little joyful moments of just what just happened. I really love it. We've been at work. We've been sending gifts to each other, and my favorite one so far. They've got the main character has another character on the ground, and he's threatening him with his gun, trying to get information. So he aims his gun up in the air and he fires it to intimidate the guy. And out of nowhere, a duck just falls. Boom!
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that is great.
It's like that would intimidate me if someone was just like boom and shot a duck out of the air. Like, whoa, this guy is serious.
Yeah. That's bullseye, man.
Yeah, that's some next level stuff.
He really knows what he's doing. Really, really knows. Oh.
Would you like to should we talk about our final topic here?
Yeah, let's spend a minute or two talking about that.
Topic 3, we live in the future.
We do live in the future. So we thought we would, for those who aren't into gaming and movies and TV show, we'll talk about another nerdy topic: science and technology.
Science.
But yeah, we live in an exciting time. There's so many awesome scientific and technological things happening. That was a very scientific way of wording that. But so we didn't super research this, but we just found some cool stuff, and we'll briefly talk about a few that we find interesting, I guess.
This is by the way, this is coming from an article on Ranker.com called "Scientific Breakthroughs of 2018."
Yeah, and they have a bunch, and we're just going to talk about ones that kind of catch our eye. But the first one that I thought was really kind of cool is the Italian Space Agency detected liquid water on Mars, which is cool because they found like frozen water on Mars before, but they've never found liquid water on Mars before.
Yeah.
And I think this is really cool for a couple of reasons. A, liquid water on Mars. That is fascinating. B, there's an Italian space agency. Did anyone know that? Like, am I the only one that's just blown away that Italy has a space agency?
I don't think you're alone.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
None. So, and that they do stuff. Like, if you told me that Italy had a space agency, I would have assumed that, like, every now and then they might launch a satellite for fun. And, I don't know, beam, like, recipes for lasagna.
Yeah.
Space
Yeah.
for no good reason.
Italy only has pasta-related scientific research.
Yeah. So, but apparently they found water on Mars. Go Italy.
Did you say? Did you see if it was on the surface or below the surface?
I believe it's under the surface. Yeah, subterranean lake.
Awesome.
So
one more step to being able to have colonies on Mars.
yeah, it is roughly 12.5 miles wide and 3 feet deep.
Awesome.
There you go.
Cool. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get up there.
Yeah, to Mars we go, and we can use that water to make pasta.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that was the reason they were looking.
Can we boil pasta? Yes. Done. We're there.
Yeah, we're moving to Mars, people. We're moving to Mars.
And Italy beats everybody to Mars.
Yeah.
The first guy on Mars is going to be named Mario.
I hope so. I really hope so. It's a Super Mario Planet Worlds, whatever that game is called, where he jumps from world to world.
Galaxy?
Galaxy. There we go. That was the name of it. I remember things. And speaking of remembering things, scientists erased damage caused by Alzheimer's disease in a human brain cell.
That's awesome.
That one's huge. I think
there's been so many advancements in Alzheimer's research the last few years. I heard that they're using ultrasound waves to break up the plaque in your brain.
Okay.
And that's the main problem is you get this plaque buildup in your brain and it insulates some of your connections, and that's why you start having memory problems and the other things that are associated with Alzheimer's. They used it on rats with Alzheimer's, and it seemed after the treatment that they regained all of their lost memory.
That's awesome.
I don't know exactly how you test that, but they're scientists. I'm sure they know.
Yeah.
And that's great. You know, I had my grandpa had Alzheimer's before he passed away, and I worry about my parents and myself, especially, of course, number one, myself over everyone else.
Yeah.
If it will benefit me, I'm definitely excited about it.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. All of these, there's so many medical breakthroughs coming out as of late that I think it's amazing, and I get really excited. So, and that was the next one that I thought was really cool. It's also medical, but stem cell transplant successfully cured sickle cell anemia, which
that blows my mind.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Although, and maybe you didn't know this, I know a lot of weird stuff when it comes to blood, but sickle cell anemia prevents malaria.
Yeah, I knew that. But if you get the cure for sickle cell anemia, don't get malaria.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I'd rather cure sickle cell anemia than malaria.
Malaria is not as big of a problem now in the modern world. So anybody who has sickle cell anemia and they don't live like in a jungle,
right,
or in a swamp, they're probably
you're probably better
served
off
by not having sickle cell.
Yeah, I guess if you live in an area that malaria is like endemic, then maybe don't cure your sickle cell anemia. But if you live in the United States, which is probably where this treatment might be available, go ahead and do it. But anyway, I thought that one was awesome. Then we've got this here. Researchers reverse the aging process in mice. So, yeah.
Again, another thing I could directly benefit from. I age.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, you look pretty much the exact same you did when you were in high school.
Oh,
as far as I can remember, but that could be the Alzheimer's.
We'll get you the Alzheimer's treatment and me the anti-aging thing, and we should be good.
Yeah. Between the two, we're golden, I think.
Yeah, we live in the future, man. We are this close to just defeating death altogether.
I think so.
But the key there, as soon as we cure death, we're going to have to be able to move to Mars and beyond, because if people stop dying, we're gonna have a problem.
We are. Yeah, unfortunately, like there's nothing on here about overpopulation and all that kind of stuff. But still, let's keep moving towards this curing all of our diseases and all those other problems, because
exactly.
I think it's great.
Exactly.
I skipped over most of these where it was like, hey, we discovered something weird, and that's cool, and that's cool, but I don't really care. But I thought this one was really awesome. Scientists discovered a warm-blooded fish.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that. It's awesome.
It's like one of the things that they were certain about fish before was that there weren't any warm-blooded ones. So they're like, if you're looking at an organism, is it cold-blooded? Yeah? Okay. Well, you haven't eliminated that it's a fish. But now you can't say that.
Yeah. It's kind of like the platypus, where it's like, hey, it's a mammal, but it lays an egg. What? I don't know. I guess it's still a mammal. We don't get it.
I mean, it does feed its young milk.
Right.
I think that's the main qualifier there. But they're going to have to rethink what a fish is now, since there's that one chubby, warm-blooded fish out there swimming in the ocean.
Exactly. Anytime you have something that's just like, hey, that doesn't fit what we used to think. Anyway.
I've got one.
All right.
So they're making egg cells out of skin. And they've been doing this in mice. I actually read this article a while ago, and we might have talked about it, but it's so cool it's worth mentioning again. So their first trial, they took a skin cell from a female mouse and made an egg, and then took sperm from another mouse and fertilized it and implanted it in a mouse, and the baby lived. Wow. So that was really cool. And then the new development, they took a skin cell from a male mouse and were able to make an egg, fertilize it, and implant it and have the babies survive.
Oh, wow.
So
that is cool.
I mean, within our lifetimes, we could see same-sex couples having biologically related children.
That's huge.
That is freaking amazing. I am all for it. I think it's so cool. And not only for same-sex couples, but people who are struggling to get pregnant. You still have avenues to to have a biologically related children if that's something that's important to you.
Right. That is cool. I think we're running out of time.
Oh yeah, we're right at the very end here. Should we plug our fundraiser and then say our adieu?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Well, thank you all for hanging out with us while we did this live session and this recording. And thank you to all those who are listening to this on the podcast later. We really appreciate it. Please go to www.extra-life.org and donate to a worthy cause. I'm pretty sure they take donations whenever. So if you're listening to this a long time from now, you can still go there and you can donate money to a good cause. So please do that for us. If you want to be able to get in touch with us, you can reach us on Twitter at Nowhere Nerds, on Facebook at fb.me/nerdsfromnowhere, or by email at thenerds@nerdsfromnowhere.com.
Yeah. Thanks for listening
And for watching.
and watching.
Goodbye.
Both. Bye.